Welcome and thank you for joining this training session for EBSCO's Job and Career Accelerator. Today, we're going to talk specifically about the tools to get hired in Job and Career Accelerator. My name is Shana Ashwood Viala, and I'm a Senior Customer Training Specialist with EBSCO. We do have an agenda today. You're going to learn how to navigate Job and Career Accelerator and educate your patrons about our award-winning resume and letter building tools. I'll also show you the Interview with Confidence tutorial. The objectives, hopefully by the end of today's session, you'll be comfortable guiding your patrons through the registration and login process, through crafting effective resumes and job letters, as well as using our Interviewing with Confidence tutorial to practice their interviewing skills. And also show you where to get help and support at EBSCO's support site, which is connect.ebsco.com. There you're going to find user guides and frequently asked questions, as well as lots of information, additional training and promotional materials available to you there. So let me exit out of this PowerPoint and jump right into the platform. We are now looking at the Job and Career Accelerator landing page, part of the Learning Express library platform. We're going to be talking specifically about the Build Resumes and Job Letters section on Job and Career Accelerator today for our short session. Now, in order to access the resources on Job and Career Accelerator, users will have to register or log in as a returning user. So to do that, you'll click the Sign In Register link here in the blue navigation. You'll enter your credentials in the Sign In section if you are a returning user. If you are a new user, you'll click the Register button and complete the required fields there and then click Register to log in. But since I am a returning user, I'm going to log in. Notice at the bottom, you also have the options here to sign in with your Google credentials. Now, when you log in as a returning user, it automatically brings you to the My Center repository, and that's the place that stores all of your work in progress. So as you build those resumes and letters, they will be available to you here. You'll access those resources on this center. But let's go back to the home page. I'm going to access Job and Career Accelerator, the Build Resumes and Job Letters section. And we're going to start with the Build Your Resume section by clicking Launch Career Tool. Now, we do have this Codie Award-winning resume building tool, and it brings you to this page. It's going to start by asking if you would either like to create a new resume or to upload an existing resume and edit within the platform. I'm going to click the first one, create a new one. And then it gives you a bit of a wizard, which will walk you through the process, starting with creating a profile for your resume. So first, it's going to ask you to create a name for your resume. We'll give this resume a name. And description is optional, so we'll just pass by that to the next section that is required, selecting a category, a job category, and I'll choose science, technology, engineering, and math as my option here, STEM. And then it asks for you to select your job experience, your current job experience. And I'll just select from this list, I'll choose mid-level job seeker. And then below that, I can choose my work situation. If none of these apply to me, I'll go with the default, which is none apply, and click Start Building My Resume. Okay, so we are looking at the Resume Builder template. All right, so we're here. There are several tabs. There's a lot going on this page, and that's because it's a very powerful tool equipped with lots of resources to support you. So we're looking at the template here, and as we scroll down in the first section here, the header section, notice that the information for my account profile, my username, which is EBSCO Trainer today, and my email address are automatically populated in the header section. This is the header for my resume. I can edit that by clicking the edit button and update this with any information. If I have another profile that I want to use or email address, I'll go ahead and update that there. But you'll notice as you scroll down this list, you'll see a list of editable sections contained in any given resume. It's covering everything to make sure you don't forget anything. So we'll see below the header, you'll see the headline, you'll see highlights of qualifications, experience, education, skills, license and certifications, honors and awards, publications, presentations, professional associations, additional information, endorsements, and add a section. Now, you don't have to enter information in every section. These are all optional. The resume builder is intended as a template for you to customize to suit to your specific needs. So each section is equipped with guidance to help you craft effective sections for each of your resumes. So if you were to click the headline, if you click the plus sign to the right to add information in your headline, it will give you a quick definition of what a headline should be doing. And then it gives you a space to type your headline. It also gives you the editing tools here, okay, as you type your information. If you're not sure, given the simple definition here on how to complete this headline section, you can click the plus sign where it says more about how to complete this section, and then that will open up into a full list of information to help you. It provides some information about what a headline should demonstrate. It provides some helpful hints, as well as some things to be cautious about, things to avoid as you craft an effective headline. Okay, so let me just copy something here. I see I've got a little sample of a headline. I'm just going to copy that into the space here to give me some content to work with. Remember, I do have editing tools here available in that window, and I'll click Save. And as I do that, now my template is equipped with a header and now a headline, and I can edit that further by clicking the pencil icons to the right of each. And you can move through each of these sections to craft content for those specific sections. All right. So moving up above or to the right of the Build or Edit Your Resume tab, you'll see additional tabs of information to support you as you build your resume. I'm going to click each of these here. There is a Browse Sample Resumes tab that allows you to browse through sample resumes that we've loaded to the platform. If you need to look at examples as you build your own, you have that available here on Browse Sample Resumes. So it's going to filter our bank of resume samples based on some of the questions that you answered when you entered this tool. So remember, we selected STEM as our job category, mid-level job seeker as our experience. It's going to provide sample resumes based on that criteria. So we can take a look at some of these sample resumes. I'm going to click the job seeker, mid-level job seeker, environmental engineer resume match. And as I click that, the resume will be available and visible to me as I scroll down to the bottom of the page. So now we're looking at this mid-level job seeker, environmental engineer. We're looking at the resume of an Eleanor Farley, and it gives you some expert tips here. It tells you why this resume is a good exemplar. And we can see that she's got some great highlights of qualifications here as part of her resume. We see her experiences listed here. So maybe I'll want to use this and refer to this. We've got a great headline here as well that maybe I like to use and maybe edit it to make it mine. And if I'm interested in that, I'll go ahead and add this to my selected sample resumes by clicking this greenish yellow bar down here. Okay, so this has been added to my sample resumes. All right, so we can see that it's been added. And if I go back up to the template, so we're going to move away from Browse Sample Resumes back to the Build or Edit Your Resume template. If I were to go back to the template here and move down to highlights of qualifications, the third option here in my list of sections, editable sections, if I click the add button, we can see now that not only do I have a section for me to type manually my highlights of qualifications with the editing tools, but notice here in this blue bar that now I can add and customize this section from my selected sample resumes, that sample resume from Eleanor Farley. If I were to click that plus sign, we can see here that some of the information is provided here, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and pull some of this information. I want to add these highlights of qualifications to my resume. So we're looking at that sample, and I'm going to add it. It's going to drop that information right into this template, which of course I'm going to need to customize and make it mine. But this is a great way to start the process. If you're struggling with how to speak to your highlights of qualifications, it doesn't hurt you to use some of our sample resume exemplars. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save, and that's going to bring me back to my template. So now I have a header, a headline, and highlights of qualifications that I can, of course, edit further by clicking the pencil icon. Okay, so moving past browsing sample resumes to the next tab here, keyword lists. I want to talk to you about the keyword lists. This is a great resource built into the Resume Builder. It is a resource that allows you to browse an extensive list of words to enhance your resume. Keywords provide useful word banks of commonly used resume vernacular, including action words by skill type, and job-specific words by industry type. So the thing here is that these days when you submit your resume to a job site, that more than likely the first eyes on your resume are not eyes, they're in fact computers. They're looking for keywords on your resume that fit the criteria for that particular job. So you want to make sure that your resume contains these keywords that the resume applicant tracking software is looking for. And the more keywords you have on your resume increases the likelihood that that resume will get picked up by the software and then in front of some real eyes. All right, so we can take a look at some of the action words by skill type. So if you need to sell your interpersonal skills or your organizational skills and you're looking for some action words to do so, use our keyword lists. So we can go ahead and click the interpersonal skills and we'll see all of these action words by skill type for interpersonal skills, okay? If we want to take a look at our management skills, we can click that and it will expose some of those management skill action words. If we're looking for job-specific words by industry type, we'll click the job-specific keywords tab and we'll scroll through to an industry that we're interested in. Remember, I chose STEM. So I'm going to come down to the engineering industry here and click that open, and it's going to ask me, well, what specific discipline within engineering are we talking about? Are we talking about aerospace or chemical engineering? You'll choose from this list. I'll click mechanical engineering, and then you'll see the list of job-specific words by this industry type, mechanical engineering. So you want to make sure if you are looking for a job in mechanical engineering that you may be including some of these keywords in your resume. Okay, so that's the keywords list. So helpful resources, keyword lists, browse sample resumes, all helpful resources to help you craft an effective resume in this resume template. Okay, so we have gone through. Now we can continue editing or adding additional information. Of course, you'll want to add your experience and your education and your skills by clicking the plus sign next to each and then entering the information either by typing it in the space provided or relying on some of the sample resumes for some information. That is how you craft it. You don't have to enter all sections, only the ones that apply to you. So if you don't belong to any professional associations, you wouldn't complete that section. If you do have some publications or presentations, you'll definitely want to add there. When you are done, you can come up to the Preview Resume tab here with the little eye icon, and that will show you what your resume looks like. all right, in its completed form. Only the sections you complete will show up. So since I only completed 3 sections, we only see the 3 sections available on my resume preview currently. I can customize this look by clicking the gear icon in the upper left corner of the resume preview here. If I click the gear icon, it gives me the opportunity to reorder sections of my resume by placing my cursor over the little dotted lines on the left and then dragging my sections in the order that I prefer. I also have 4 different layout options here. There are some thumbnail images. Notice as I click each of these thumbnail images how the look and feel of my resume preview changes with the font as well as the arrangement of the resume. If I am happy with any of these, I have options here at the top. I can copy this resume, I can print the resume, I can download it, I can email it. If I wanted to edit it further, maybe I'm not happy with these layouts and I want to do something on my own. Maybe I'll then download that file, and it's going to give you this little window where you'll select the file type, whether it's a docx, PDF, or RTF. If you're not sure when to use which format, we actually provide some information for you there, so you know when to use which. If you're looking to edit, then you'll definitely want to use that docx format. If you want to fix it in time so it can't be edited or it won't shift when it's read by a different software, then you may want to create a PDF of your file. So you'll review all of that information and click download to download that resume. So those are your options for the resume builder. Let me go back to the center home page and move on to the next tool, which is the cover letter builder. Now, remember, we had the resume builder, the Codie award-winning resume builder. We have a cover letter or letter builder, rather, that is equally powerful. So I'll click the Build Your Letter section, launch that career tool. Okay, so we're waiting for that to load, and I'll talk to you about this letter builder. It's going to look similar to the resume builder. It's also a template, so it brings you to this page where it says, well, how do you want to start your letter? Do you want to create a new one, or you want to edit an existing one in the platform? I will go ahead and click Create New. Okay, so it's also going to ask you to name your letter. I'm going to just name this letter 1, like I named my resume. And then it's going to ask you for what kind of letter type or do you want to craft. We have a number of different letter types, not just cover letters, that's the most popular, but we also have networking and informational letters, interview follow-up letters, interview thank you letters, and even job offer letters. Okay, so choose the template. We'll go with cover letter since it's the most popular one. But remember that we're covering every stage of your job search process. All right, so I'm going to move on down, and it asks, where would you like to start? Do you want to revise a letter saved already on the platform? Do you want to create a letter from a sample? Or do you want to create a letter from scratch? I'll choose create a letter from a sample just to make my life easier. And I'll click start building my letter in the lower right corner there. Okay, so it's going to bring you to this page, your letter builder template, and it's going to take the questions you answered previously that I'm going to build a cover letter. And because I chose mid-level job seeker previously, it's going to load some sample letters that are appropriate for me. Okay, so I can review this letter. It even tells me why this is a strong exemplar. And if I like the look and feel and sound of this letter, I can use this sample, and I'll click the Use this sample letter button at the bottom. And that's going to drop it right into my template for me, of course, to edit. You know, I'm going to, of course, need to make a lot of changes here, enter my information. But if I like the tone and the way it flows in the different paragraphs and the language that's used, there's nothing wrong with using this template, and then of course editing it within the space provided, and then also using the tools available to you within this space. All right, and then when you're done, you can click preview, and it will show you what your letter looks like before you have the options to edit further or copy it, print it, download it, and email it. So those are your tools in the letter builder. We have one more tool. I'm going to go ahead and click the back link here that I wanted to share with you. And that is the Interview with Confidence tutorial. Let me actually go back to the Job and Career Accelerator Center. I can either do that by clicking the center link here or the home link here. Let me go back to home so I can show you how to access it from initial login. So we'll click Job and Career Accelerator. And the next thing that I want to do is click the Prepare for an Interview section. We just left the Build Resumes and Job Letters section. Now I'm going to click the Prepare for an Interview section. And this is another great resource on Job and Career Accelerator. We'll click the Prepare for an Interview section again here. And that's going to launch the option for the Interview with Confidence tutorial. All right. Also on this page are all of the sample letters available. There's a networking and information sample letter, interview follow-up sample letters, interview thank you letters, all interview related. But we're going to access the Interview with Confidence, the Interview with Confidence tutorial. And we'll click that Start Tutorial button to access that. So in this tutorial, it's going to bring you to the introduction page we're looking at now. So this is where you're going to learn how to maximize your success in job interviews. You can review the information here, or to the left, you can see the course outline here. So it's going to talk to you about everything from acing the initial phone call to accepting a job offer with professionalism. All right, so I'm going to open up the outline here. This is a 1-unit tutorial. We'll click the arrow to expose the lessons contained within this tutorial. We see lesson 1, about great interviews, lesson 2, preparing for an interview, and my favorite, which is lesson 3, practice interview questions. Let me click that open and expose the topics contained within that lesson. So here we see practice interview questions. And I always find that the interview is always a source of anxiety for many people, including myself. I never know what kinds of questions I'm going to be asked and if I'm going to be put on the spot. And I'm not sure if I'm answering the questions in the way that the interviewer is looking for me to answer. So this is a great way to practice some of the commonly asked interview questions. We are looking at some of the topics here. We can see questions like, so tell me about yourself, or why do you want this job, or my favorite, what has been your greatest failure? What did you learn from that experience? We all get asked these questions in some form or fashion, and sometimes it's difficult to find the right words in the moment. So it's a great way to come and practice. I'm going to go ahead and click what has been your greatest failure and what did you learn from that experience. And it starts out by explaining why the interviewer is asking this question. It's not to hear about how you failed. The interviewer is looking to see how honest you are in answering the question, if you're willing to acknowledge your mistakes, and more importantly, how are you able to learn from your mistakes and failures to overcome them, to persevere. And so understanding why the interviewer is asking the question really helps you think about how you respond. So not only does it explain the question, but it also gives you a space to enter your response right here. So you can practice responding by typing your response, and then you can compare your response with that of an exemplar by clicking the Compare My Responses button. And then it provides a sample response or an exemplar for this question. So some great tools there in lesson number 3, practice interview questions. Let me just back it up to show you that in lesson 2, you'll learn pre-interview research, how to practice, what to wear, what to bring, what are the top 25 interview mistakes to not make. In lesson number 1, it talks about the interview process. What are the 5 stages, how to schedule, and what are the most common types of interviews. So lots of great information here on this Interview with Confidence tutorial. Let me go ahead and save and finish later. We'll click Save. And I'm going to quickly show you where you can access everything that we touched upon today. It is available in the My Center repository. So we're on My Center. If you wanted to know how to access My Center from the home page, let me go back to home. It's always available under your username. So my username is EBSCO Trainer here. And as I place my cursor over my name, I see the link to My Center. I'll go ahead and click that. And that's going to bring you to the My Center repository where all of your work is saved. So here you can see that interview with confidence tutorial that we accessed. And moving on down the list under the career dashboard, we'll see the one resume that we created and the one letter that we created. To access that information, I can click the plus sign. And it's going to give me some information about my resume. It tells me, it gives me a timestamp on when it was last modified. This is helpful if you are interviewing or creating resumes for several different job opportunities. You may want to know when the last modification was to see if you need to make some updates. And clicking on this dashboard, I can see that timestamp. I also have the opportunity to edit that resume, copy the resume, print it, download it, email it, or delete it. So that's all available on your My Center dashboard. Okay, so that does it for the Job and Career Accelerator resume and letter building tool and interview with confidence tutorial. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and I hope that you make the best use out of these wonderful resources for your patrons. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.